Hello, welcome to another episode of Somewhere Between a film and TV podcast. We're your host. I am Daniel Parra.
And I'm Erwin Trejo.
And I want you to picture this, Erwin. Lay the groundwork here.
Okay.
So, thank you so much if this is your first time listening. We've gotten a whole lot of new listeners lately, and we're so grateful for it.
Let's go! I'm not trying to yell because then I don't want to
Blast into the mic. Yeah, I think
basically.
it might happen.
I'm like, ah!
Like increase the audio levels.
I would love that. One day.
But
Bust?
no, not bust.
Oh, my bad.
Man, I was gonna ask you that later.
Oh, thank God I ruined it for you. Hey, a backbender?
That's from episodes ago. That's not even.
I find it funny now. I think I just had to
Now you find it
marinate.
funny?
Yeah,
Oh, because everyone on TikTok is saying it. Is that why?
Well, no, I didn't really. Who's it? No.
If you go into like any of the comments of like
Oh.
the avatar, they're like backbending, and then everybody's like, "Yo." I'm just saying.
Okay.
But what we like to do here is we like to review movies and TV. We are somewhere between
Shows.
a film and TV podcast. We'll get a little bit off
like
topic.
to review televisions.
Only that. What's the Roku TV you have over there?
It's the brand On.
Is it a good TV?
It's aight. I mean, it's 4K. It was cheap. Black Friday.
We wouldn't be good at reviewing TVs.
No.
We'll get a little bit off topic, but we'll like to circle back around. And I want to make sure that you know everything we do or talk about always has full spoilers. Although we are going to review something today that we won't spoil entirely after we review this. And Erwin,
Yes.
we are reviewing Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. I keep kind of forgetting the title of it.
It just doesn't feel... Okay, well...
Yeah, no,
yes.
hang on. Does busting make you feel good?
Oh,
Did
is
it
that
make
what
you feel
you
good?
want me to wait for?
I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
It makes you feel good?
I mean, why wouldn't it? I mean, does it make you feel good?
Busting how?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Doors?
as doors?
Busting down doors?
Oh, Doorbuster.
Doorbuster?
Yeah, like the Black Friday sales. That's what they call them.
Doorbusters.
Uh-huh. Because it's like kicking...
That's a terrible ad.
It's kicking down the door. It's been famous for like forever.
In what store?
If you look up Doorbuster deals, it's on like Best Buy, Target, everything, because of the idea of Black Friday. You remember the movie Thanksgiving?
Yes.
Where they had they literally busted down the door. That's why.
And then they killed, and a bunch of people died.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, now I get it. I understand the appeal.
It's been famous for a long time, so if you're critiquing it now, then...
I'm too late.
Yeah. What's your familiarity with Ghostbusters? We talk a lot about how we have nostalgia for certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a nostalgia for this franchise?
No, absolutely not. I remember, I don't know if I was with you or with someone else, like one of our friends, that I went to go see the first Ghostbusters movie.
Oh, I was with you.
Okay,
Yeah.
in theaters.
Right.
Right? And I've already, I think I've seen the movie before I watched it in theaters,
Mm-hmm.
but just to watch one of those quality movies in theaters again, it's something completely different.
Right.
But I remember loving and enjoying the first one, of course, of what it did and what it had and all, but I never been interested in that universe.
In the franchise as a whole?
Yes.
So, for me, I don't really have any kind of nostalgia for this. I do like one, and we'll get into that 2016 one in a second.
Oh, yeah.
And
I forgot about that
Afterlife. But I saw the first one on some cable channel when I was 9 or 10
Mm-hmm.
because my dad was introducing it to me, and my thoughts overall were yeah, it's good. I never really gravitated towards it. There was a Xbox game, I believe, that people really liked that was kind of like a video game sequel that was written by the people that wrote the original.
Oh.
And people consider it a legitimately good sequel to the first two. The second movie's not good. I
haven't seen the second one.
It's just kind of nothing.
Who was the villain?
It was a painting, if I remember correctly.
Oh, okay.
And it has all the original people, and much like this movie, doesn't do anything with those people. It's just like another one.
Yes.
And the franchise as a whole, to me, I kind of question its existence of why it's a franchise, but I come at that with one of our first reviews we ever did on this show actually was the, do I call it the first one or do I call it like the fourth one?
I would say it's the fourth. Wait. No, I would say it's a third one.
Yeah.
Just because the 2016 was was it directed by Paul Feig?
Paul Feig,
Paul
yeah.
Feig. I didn't really count that one just because it's not really in that same universe, even though it has the same, some like the original character or like original actors, but not the original characters in it.
I do believe that they consider it non-canon, and I think
Yes.
that this is ridiculous that this movie has like this kind of like Star Wars level, this doesn't count, this
Yes.
counts, because the original was intended as kind of just like an 80s comedy with just some of the SNL members. Basically, it was like it's like if they made another Ferris Bueller's Day Off. To me, if they had like 4 of those, why would there be 4 of them? I don't know.
Aren't they making a sequel
To that?
Yeah, to Ferris Bueller's Day Off, or
Are
is
they?
it? I don't know if it's a sequel or a remake, but I know it's happening on one of those occasions. So
I could imagine a reboot of that working or like a remake. There's
Yeah.
no reason to do it, but like I see how the whole like skipping school thing works. Do you remember what you thought of Afterlife, the first one of this?
I think I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I would have to look again. I mean, I haven't seen it since when it was like 2 or 3 years ago.
I think it was 2 years ago.
Dang. Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect it to enjoy it. That's what I remember. But I think what caught me was, of course, the original cast, and then seeing Paul Rudd. I think we genuinely
We both just like love Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, but I was not excited. I mean, I wasn't really intrigued with another sequel coming along. So I was like, we'll see what happens here.
So I guess I could ask you and know the answer. Were you excited for this?
Of course. No, I wasn't. Of course I wasn't excited. I was dreading just waiting. Like I remember missing like 5 minutes of trailers just because I was in the bathroom thinking, do I really am I really going to like sit here and watch this, or like it's fine, it's whatever. But even like you said yourself too, the theater was packed on your end too, right?
Yeah, it was full.
Mine was full too.
Yeah.
Now I was surprised. When I looked around, I was like, oh wow, there's a lot of people here for this movie.
No, so when I saw Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny when that came out last year, a movie no one saw,
Yeah.
I was looking forward to it, and I'd heard okay to bad to some people liking it, like just mixed things everywhere. And I walked in, and the reason why I think I ended up so soft on that movie was because I saw a really, really like elderly man wearing one of those like Indiana Jones hats and
that's cool.
a whip, and he looked so excited that I was like, I am happy that guy gets to see this. And I enjoyed that movie enough, but some of the like throwback nostalgia stuff, I do have more of a love for that, because that's a trilogy I think is like one of the best ever. And then 4 and 5 are kind of, I don't hate 4 the way that others do, but
I don't really remember 4. I think I remember seeing scenes of it, but I don't remember the whole movie.
If I remember distinctly the first time I ever saw that ant scene, then that counts for something, because
I do remember that.
it was freaky. But same thing happened today. I was walking in and I saw these older guys wearing like the Ghostbusters everything.
Yeah, me too.
Did you?
I don't remember seeing guys like that, but I just remember seeing like everyone really excited.
Yeah.
Like the energy in that room was completely different from, especially when the new movies come out now.
Yeah.
But it's obvious that a lot of people do love this franchise.
No, so for me, I was like, and then I guess I was like, okay, ideal situation here. If I don't love it, at least like the crowd will be able to like, I don't know, make me think that like, oh yeah, this is doing its job. Yeah. It's working. I want to ask you what you think of it first before I get into it, but I think I know that we're on similar pages towards it. But I will preface this by saying that people seemed to enjoy it up until a point, and then we see this, like, we see things at Alamo Drafthouse, right? I think it's funny whenever people take their phones out there because it feels like such a, like, I mean, number one, don't do that.
Wait, during the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate when they do that.
Yeah, because I'm like, I can see your phone.
Or, I don't know why this happens, at least to me, where if I'm sitting, like, in the middle rows,
yeah,
and then all of a sudden, like, you see in the corner of your eye of somebody's phone, just like their flashlight is just on every single time. I'm like, how?
So
why is your phone out?
I love my father, but he does that. He like has the flashlight on his phone. I don't understand it. What's that supposed to be for?
I don't know. I think what sucks about just having those movie theaters with like eatery.
Oh yeah.
And they have to see them, and like if somebody wants to order more food or drinks or pay for their bill, they need to see what they're.
So they take out the flashlight.
I think that's what it is. But that's the only thing I hate. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, it's nice to have like, free water.
Yeah.
But at the end, I'm like, yeah, it kind of is annoying, especially if you're not really ordering food. You're just trying to watch a movie.
And it smells like food the whole time.
Yeah,
so I get really hungry.
You're like, crap, I have to go home.
Yeah. And I don't know. People seemed excited for it. People were laughing at the right things, I guess. But let's get into what you thought of it. What did you think of Ghostbusters Frozen Empire? I think the new Godzilla is called something similar. So
the new Empire?
Yeah.
It was barely frozen. It was barely an empire. I don't understand. I felt very okay.
Yeah.
Like I just didn't feel anything majority of the time in the movie. And I think the main reason is because the amount of characters there were in that movie. I felt like I was just jumping back and forth with each single character, and it never gave any of like the main new characters a chance to grow, especially with the movie Afterlife.
Yeah.
And you get like little snippets of it, especially with like Paul Rudd's character.
Right, who I think is the best thing in this movie.
Yes. I did enjoy McKenna Grace.
The other best thing in this movie.
Yes.
I think, yeah.
But you, like, every 5 minutes is somebody else. Somebody else you jump to it, there's somebody else. And I'm just going like, what's happening here? I want to enjoy, like, these other characters that you've introduced, but you keep going back to these other characters, especially the older characters, that they don't have any arcs anymore.
They're just kind of there.
For past audiences who love the franchise and all.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think. I don't know if it was just me, but I didn't think the ghosts in this movie were as impactful compared to the other ones.
I don't think... Okay. I don't think the ghost did a damn thing in this movie, but here's the thing. I like the first one. I think I really like it. I don't love it the way that other people do. 2, I don't like. 2016, controversial opinion, I guess, when this came out. We were in high school.
Yeah.
And
I liked it from what I remember.
I like it. I've seen it a couple times. I know the whole thing behind it. It's kind of why I do have a sort of aggravation towards the people that are fans of this franchise. Because the way that was handled was very poorly handled when that came out. If you didn't like it, you didn't like it, and that's fine. I get it. Like, comedy's subjective. Everything's subjective. And I looked at my score for Afterlife, and apparently I really liked that movie. And if I remember...
Do you remember what I gave it?
I actually don't know. I think what I remember is you said you really enjoyed it, and then I asked you, would you see a sequel to this? And you said, no.
No. And here I am.
And now we've seen a sequel to it.
Great.
And I think what worked better about that movie is there were less characters, and the fan servicey stuff in the third act, while it kind of came out of nowhere, at least it felt like some sort of reason for it, because it felt like the whole thing was to say goodbye to that actor Harold Ramis. So it at least felt like there was an emotional intention behind it. So while it's nice to see Bill Murray, for example, in this, it is irritating to see him if he's just set dressing. Like, he's like there's a shot in this movie that has all of them in one place, and I was like, most of these actors didn't do a damn thing in this movie. Like Carrie Coon's in this and doesn't do anything in this movie. And then I don't give a fuck about the mayor guy.
Damn!
That's like
he wants to end Ghostbusters.
But why bring that guy back? That was one of those things that like people were like cheering for.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, is this how people feel whenever they're like, who's this blind guy in Spider-Man? Like, No Way Home. Because, like, I know who that is, but why does that warrant like an emotional reaction? I say this as somebody who'd also probably buy that Lego set of the firehouse because that's cool. It's a cool set.
That sounds cool.
Yeah.
Wait, did they release one like that?
They do have one. They have one in the car.
Oh, that's cool.
And I was like, I'd actually get those,
I
but
would get that too.
all while only kind of being like a casual-ish fan of this. This is a low bar, but everything looks good. There's been a tendency for blockbusters to have bad CG, and this doesn't have any. I mean, everything looks decent. I thought with the ghost stuff, I thought that the containment center, like where they keep them, had some cool ideas, like the one that can possess anything.
Oh, yes.
Up until they did nothing with that.
Yes, that too.
There was just a bunch of stuff where I was like, cool idea, and then didn't expand on it ever.
I think the fact that the movie was also less than 2 hours, which I didn't realize until afterwards, because it felt longer, because I think they just dwelled on the scenes that weren't so interesting.
Yeah.
By interesting, I mean characters that weren't given the chance to actually shine and like do anything. Those felt longer compared to the scenes that were actually interesting with characters that we actually like, as in like Paul Rudd, McKenna Grace, and then I think I just like the new characters more, and I wish they had more to say compared to the older characters, but they kept going back to the older characters. But the new characters, the other girl, I don't remember her name. And then the other
ghost
scientists, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like them two that were in the lab.
Yeah.
Anytime they were on screen, I wasn't excited or I wasn't interested.
I liked that lab just because of the stuff that was in it. It had some cool imagery. And I thought that the orb was cool. And then I really liked the design for the big ghost. But what was super irritating to me was I thought that this movie's called Frozen Empire, right?
Yes.
The trailer sells it as like, okay, the ghost gets out early.
Yes.
And that's what the whole movie is. No, this movie takes so much time setting up whatever it's setting up. And Alamo Drafthouse does that thing where the server comes like with this. He doesn't do that.
Whoa, which theater?
I gotta write the address down. The server busts.
The server was busting.
Like,
no? Oh, okay.
I was thinking about busboys. They bus.
Why do they call them busboys? Just because they're...
We were busboys. I don't know. Shouldn't we know the answer to that?
No, I wanted to get paid.
Yeah. Or $5 an hour or whatever it was.
Yeah, it was $9.
It was $9?
Yeah.
Dude, I don't think I was getting paid $9.
Dude, we were both getting paid $9.
No.
Yes. No, was I?
No.
Yeah, no, I was.
No.
Oh, no, because we were getting tips, too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe it was less than that.
And we'd have to trust the waitresses to give us the proper... Do you think that they ever did that?
I doubt it. I mean, I wouldn't.
I wouldn't. You'd be like, oh, you're a child.
You're a child. Here you go.
Yeah.
Me? Whoa, $10. Awesome.
I'm going to spend this on Monster Energy.
Monster Energy.
Yeah. I remember being like, $40. I am the richest man in the world. Jeff Bezos has nothing
Buys a
on
bunch of candies, chips, and iced teas.
Let's not talk about the bag of Jolly Ranchers a day I used to eat, or like the Skittles, and I'd be like, why does my stomach hurt every day?
Oh, the Skittles, they were so good.
Yeah, that big bag that was like, it was like a $4 bag. I think you're supposed to share that or not eat that in one day.
Anytime they say share size, you're like, awesome, more for me.
What was the like those Tic Tacs? It has the like one only or like the multiple because it has like two tabs that you open. And
like the with the like the heads.
No, not
Oh, the character
Pez.
heads? Oh, Pez.
Tic Tacs. They have like the box, and then there's a tab that says take one only, and then there's a tab that says for sharing or something like that, or it says for friends.
Okay.
And so I would always open the for friends one and dump like a bunch of them into my hand.
Yeah, I mean, that's how you do it.
Were we greedy?
Yeah, we were. What's that sin called? Gluttony?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This is just like Slimer.
We're Slimer.
Fuck that guy.
Dang, well, so what are your thoughts on Slimer?
I like that they kept up with the prosthetic look of him, and that he looks like kind of like a puppet, and he's got a thick ass, but like
that was busted.
Dude, did you see the popcorn bucket for him?
Yes.
If you turn him around, his ass is huge. But I fucking hate that guy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
It's like one of those characters. It's like if I hated Minions, which I don't, they're cool.
I hated Minions
for a while.
I used to hate Minions.
It was cool to hate, but that's because your dad,
cool. Yeah,
right?
my dad loves Minions.
So you were like,
I hate Minions now.
Same
but
with.
Imagine just hearing a ringtone of the ba 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 every single day. I couldn't.
The funny thing is that they were like really overexposed when the Minions movie came out.
Yes.
But then during COVID worked wonders for them, and so did like people's sense of humor changing.
Yeah.
That when the second Minions came out, everyone was like, these guys are like comedic geniuses. They're really funny. I like them now.
I think it's just when people make edits of anything, they become very popular and people enjoy them.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that turned the whole Suits thing that happened.
Wait, the show Suits?
No, not the show Suits.
Oh.
People do like that show.
I've never heard anybody go, I love the show Suits.
My coworker.
Oh, really?
You know how people have those things called coworker shows where you have a coworker that's obsessed with one thing and nothing else. It's called
watch the same things.
It's called a coworker show. Like The Boys is one.
Okay.
And
but it's such a like I'm pretty sure the show Suits has 7, 8 seasons or something.
Yeah. Hey, he's told me multiple times to watch Suits. He's gone. Have you started Suits yet? Like,
I can understand now when people complain about. Have you seen Breaking Bad?
Oh yeah. No, we're those people. So whenever I'm please watch Better Call Saul.
Better Call Saul.
Please. Anybody in the world.
Watch Succession.
Oh yeah, that too.
The Bear. I'm pretty
people
sure
have seen The Bear though.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's there yet though.
I mean, they announced season 3 and 4, so maybe. Yeah. But I understand that it's like FX stuff blows up in like a specific way, not in like a ton of people, like not Netflix, Stranger Things.
Yeah. I think if it was on Netflix, it would definitely blow up even more.
Oh, I mean, yeah, that's always what happens though.
I mean, Suits is on Netflix, Breaking Bad's on Netflix, Better Call Saul is on Netflix, so
you just have to wait. Like the Twilight movies blowing up again because they were put on Netflix. Hunger Games recently, whenever Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes came out, it was popular again. That's like what it takes. I noticed that people under 20 have not seen Lord of the Rings. I've learned that through personal experience.
Yeah, I think that's when we complain about runtimes.
Oh yeah.
Or how people complain about runtimes. This movie's 3 hours long. Why would I watch this?
So speaking of runtime, you said that I thought this movie was 2 hours and 5 minutes. It's like an hour 55.
Yeah.
And it's Afterlife that's 2 hours and 5 minutes, I think.
Oh, okay.
But this movie feels so fucking long.
Yeah.
I think it's because it feels like it had a first act and a third act and no second act, because it felt like it was taking forever to set up, and there were way too many characters.
Too many.
I
like the stuff with Camille Nanjiani as being the fire master.
Oh yeah, he's like a firebender.
Firebender, apparently.
No, yeah, I know.
And I understand, like, you just have to accept it, but it didn't feel. He didn't really feel necessary. It felt added more so than something that could be essential to the story.
Yeah.
And the fact that I had to care about this character so quickly, but I didn't.
No, there's like a whole emotional arc with him where he's like a loser, and then he misses his grandma or something.
Yeah.
And then at the end, he says something that was like an emotional, like, arc, and
Yes.
I was just like, why?
It's like I don't feel anything.
Who I cared about were Paul Rudd,
Yes.
which I mean, just initially you're kind of like, it's Paul Rudd,
It's Paul
but
Rudd.
then like, he is funny. He
Mhm.
just there's one moment in this where the joke is that he laughs, and then it's the way he laughs, and I was like, that's really funny, and he like doesn't even do that much. But
I just love the movies. This is 40 and what was the other one? The
I Love You,
Knocked
Man.
Up.
Oh,
Oh, I love you too, man.
no. I Love You, Man, where you never got to see the
the-
final
Oh,
5
I never
minutes
got to
of
see
this
the-
movie.
I just remember you going, "All right, Erwin, that's over." And I'm like, "They're going to the wedding right now. What do you mean?" You're like,
No,
"It's over."
what had happened was, I don't know what was up with that DVD. Was it scratched or
Probably,
something?
possibly.
But
That's why
then-
you gotta get Blu-rays. Everyone,
This was like 2012. So like it just kept scratching, I think. And
just
then
the exact same part.
and I remember I tried to like rewind it,
Yeah,
and it just kept ending. It's that like moment where they're like on
the road. They're on the road on the scooter,
Yeah.
and then before, and it just cuts off. And I'm like, "What's happening? What's going on?"
I remember because I was like, I'm sorry, Erwin. And you were like, that was your, and you were like, well, I liked what I saw.
Yeah.
Which is funny because then you watch that movie. I think you finished it.
Yeah,
There
I
was
did.
10 minutes left of the rest of
Yeah.
it.
I just wanted him to say, "I love you, man."
Oh, yeah.
Literally, the
I
title
think he
of the movie.
did, right?
Yeah, at the very end.
Yeah.
The 10 minutes that I didn't get to see.
Dude, that movie's so good.
It was, yeah, it is good.
I wish Jason Segel was in more stuff.
Yeah, me too. I wonder what he's doing now.
He's in that Apple show that's really good. The one where it's like a therapist that decides to just tell his clients what he's thinking instead of. It's good. I've seen like half of it.
Yeah. Is it a comedic?
It's like it's by the people who made Ted Lasso, so it's like that.
Oh, okay. I didn't even finish Ted Lasso.
It's season 3 is good, but the first 2 seasons are amazing.
Oh, okay. Why do you say it's just good with the last season?
It just wraps up like really fast,
Oh, okay.
and some people
Was
disliked
there
it.
less episodes?
No, it was longer.
Oh.
It just felt like I don't know. The pacing of it's weird.
Oh, okay.
No, with this, I think I got irritated the moment where they go into like the library because I don't care about the iconography of this stuff. Like I'm not nostalgic for Ghostbusters, so when I see the library ghost from the first one, I'm not like, "Oh, cool." I am just kind of like, "Why is this person in this movie? Why does it matter that she's there? I thought they caught this ghost."
I thought they got those.
I was like, isn't the whole point that they're supposed to like release all of the ghosts? We're supposed to review the movie we've seen, right? Not the one we
Yes.
wanted. But I thought the thing that we were supposed to get anyway was all of the ghosts being released.
And they weren't
into it.
released until the last 20 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
And you didn't even get to see the ghosts running around the city or anything.
No, so whenever the server came around, because
Yes.
they come around whenever there's 30 minutes left in the movie. That hadn't even happened yet. So I was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? Like, where is this movie supposed to be going right now?
What did you think about the one McKenna Grace befriending that one ghost?
I couldn't tell if that was befriending or if I was like, can they not do lesbian things in these movies yet?
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't.
You felt that too, right?
Yeah.
I felt the same thing. I was like, is that something gonna happen? But then I'm like, how old is she compared to her?
That's what I was trying to
Yeah.
figure out too. But I was like, you guys know it's okay to do this, right? Or it's like, are you
Yeah.
afraid of like, just like how people would react to that? I guess.
Yeah.
So that's why it felt sort of how Pixar does that thing whenever they're like, we're announcing our gay characters, and then like they don't.
They just hold hands.
Yeah, like in
And
I
it
do
did-
like Onward, but that didn't
Yeah.
happen with that. I thought the best things in this movie were that up until it does the whole like plot twist villain thing, and I was just like, okay, now I don't care because I've seen this before.
Yes.
I wish it would have just had that like what their thing was in the first place. And Paul Rudd's character arc to want to be like a better stepfather
I think it's a better figure
for them.
Yes. Or like where's his place in all this too?
I liked those two things a lot, and they felt like they were in different. Those felt like different movies. Both of those things felt like stuff that was in Afterlife. Because what I remember, that movie was slower, but slower on purpose,
Yes.
and it took like its time to develop those characters more.
I think with Afterlife too, it felt you felt you felt like you were going back into that world again,
Yeah.
and they were showcasing just look at us experiencing Ghost for the first time,
Right.
especially with the equipment that they've used and how do we utilize it, and like you're just enjoying it as much as like the characters are. And that's what I remember from Afterlife. Well, this one, they're just there already. And
Yeah.
now it's like, okay, how can we make it where they're facing these obstacles? And one of them was, okay, the ice ghost and then the mayor.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and them just trying to get rid of them.
But the thing is that Mayor has like two scenes in this movie.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be like one of the driving forces of like being an antagonist, but he just like disappears for over half of the movie. And he's in that one scene at the beginning, and then like one. Okay, actually, on that, when this first started, I was like, if this has this kind of energy, I will like this movie because I really liked the opening and them chasing that ghost throughout it. But I was like, if they had more of this, like these kinds of sequences where they're capturing ghosts, because this was sold as kind of an homage to the cartoon also, the real Ghostbusters from the 80s, which was them constantly trying to capture ghosts around the city.
Yeah.
I was like, that's a cool idea. They don't do that. They do that at the beginning and at the end of the movie. And I felt like there was a whole lot of nothing in the middle. It just felt like they were kind of circling over the plot points we already knew about over and over and over. And I was just like, I don't understand. There's no sort of...
Do you think this movie, that Frozen Empire, was the same as the sequel of the very first one?
I don't know, because...
because I haven't seen it, but I just imagine like the same obstacles they would face.
What I remember, that had the same sort of thing where I was like, the only kind of driving interest here is that the original people are back.
Oh, okay.
And it was...
But even then, we barely got to see any of the original. We saw a lot of Dan Aykroyd, I felt.
Yeah, the Crystal Skull vodka inventor.
Why are you saying that? Oh, because he's... Wait, what?
The Crystal Skull vodka.
Why are you saying that?
Because that's a...
Is that a drink?
Yeah, that he made.
What? Why?
You know how I told you that Dan Aykroyd is like obsessed with Ghostbusters?
Yeah.
I mean in real life. I think you thought I meant like...
I think you meant like his own movies.
No.
I'm obsessed with the movies I made.
So he is this franchise's equivalent to Fast and Furious's Vin Diesel. He's like that. Like he's kind of an unhinged weirdo. And I don't know, like the person he is in this movie kind of sounds like how he is in real life.
Oh, okay.
So he's also the reason why these movies keep
happening.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because every time they come out, I'm like, who is this for? But then like I go to the theater, I'm like, holy shit, like everybody of every age is in here. So I guess I'm just like not responding to this the way I'm supposed to be. Because I think what irritates me is another reason why I liked Afterlife enough is because that does appeal to the Stranger Things audience. And I think actually expanded on the idea that it was like, yeah, ghosts can exist, but in other places. This goes back to somewhere we've already been multiple different times. And I think that's why it's irritating, because you're like, there's actually a genuine idea here. They could go other countries even and do different things with different characters, but like make it different. Instead, they just keep
sticking to the same thing.
Yeah.
Maybe that's probably why we enjoyed Afterlife, because they were in another state that wasn't New York. And what was it? It was like Oklahoma or something.
Yeah, but it had a real Amblin E.T. flair to it.
Like Super 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's because they were kids too. And then now it's like they're all adults.
But all the kids that are in this are like because they brought one of them back, the one that's like obsessed with podcasting.
Oh, the hammer.
Yeah,
Yeah, with the hammer.
but then he doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
in this movie.
But that's because they're still 15 or 16. Like McKenna's Grace, they're portraying like 15 or 16-year-olds.
Yeah.
So in a sense, they're almost adults, and so they're basically trying to make those like adult decisions already. So
they try and give Finn Wolfhard almost an arc. He's supposed to like, I don't know, they make him like an adult but not an adult.
Yeah.
And then don't do anything with that.
Yeah. And it's like, hey, you just drive. Does that make me an adult now?
And then his whole thing at the end is he finally gets to drive. So that means that he's grown as a character.
Let's go. That's an arc.
I think what irritated me is some of the ideas that were there. I'm like, okay, you could go and do something with that. Like the possession ghost is an incredible idea. The one that can like possess anything.
Yeah.
Why was there no like genuine?
I kind of did like the trash bag scene.
I did like that, yeah.
I don't know why. It just looked funny to me, and I started laughing.
But when you expand on visual comedy like that, why not do more of it? Because they just like, yes, Bill Murray is awesome, and he slips right back into that character, and everything he says, like, you're like, oh yeah, that's that character back from the first one. Or Dan Aykroyd like rambling about sciencey things. Like, yeah, they know the characters, but it was just annoying that it felt like it focused on nothing.
Yeah.
Like, there was no genuine main character in this movie.
I don't know. It just kept jumping around. That's what it is. Because for me, what I lost interest a lot was definitely the Fire Master aspect. Whenever they kept talking about the lore of the frozen ghost.
Oh yeah.
And that and the other scientist, the one with the accent.
I don't know if they ever said his name.
Yeah, I don't know either. But he was in it quite like a lot. So I couldn't get behind any of those characters or any of that story, and so it was just those are the parts that felt so long to me.
When they were doing that.
Yeah.
Well, they dedicated so much time to this, but then actually didn't tell us who those characters were.
Yes.
Like if they would have
how important they are.
Yeah.
Like we see it in the movie, yes, but in terms of like capturing our attention.
But I even told you that like while I was watching it, I was like, who are these people and why are their Ghostbusters suits red? Does that make them different from the other ones? If you're gonna try and make me understand the lore of something that has lore now, can you tell me what that means? Because I do like things that don't have explanations in terms of visual imagery, but it's stuff like that where I'm like, who is this?
Yeah.
Like, that actually matters if I have to spend this much time with this person. Because then they have multiple scenes, like, with them interacting with the ghosts and stuff, too. And I'm like, no one else that was the main character of this, I thought, is in this movie anymore. Because I felt like McKenna Grace disappeared for a while. I felt like Paul Rudd disappeared for a while. Finn Wolfhard, I feel, is barely in it. It was just confusing, and I didn't understand really why they didn't focus on anything in particular, considering that they had a bunch of main characters from the first one to focus on.
Even with all the main characters, the villain wasn't as strong compared to I don't even remember the first one, to be honest with you.
There was the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
And then Afterlife, they had, who was it? Was it somebody else that was possessed?
I just remember.
Wait,
wasn't it her? Wasn't it McKenna Grace?
Again?
Like, because remember she was like, oh, I've been in like the ghost realm before, or whatever it was.
Oh, maybe. Or no, she said she's always wanted to be.
Oh, yeah. I do not remember the third act of.
But I do. But with Frozen Empire right now, whenever she, I guess, got to be in ghost form, like finally got to be a ghost.
Yeah.
And like I guess he was being controlled, or like she was being controlled again. I really thought that they were going for the fact of like she was gonna be like the antagonist. And
that's what I thought it was.
I was
gonna
like,
be.
oh, okay. I'm interested now.
Yeah, and then it wasn't.
Yeah, and you're like, all right.
It was an interesting idea, and then I don't know. There's stuff that they like set up and then don't do, and that's one of them.
Yeah.
I am a diehard Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed fan.
What does that have to do with anything?
I'm setting up. The whole premise of that movie is that the monsters are unleashed, right?
Yes, makes sense.
And they're like, it's a bunch of fan service for Scooby-Doo fans. That's me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy shit, all of these. I don't know if the guys in this are from like other stuff, if they're from the cartoon. I know Slimer, fuck that guy, but like...
But you don't even get to see the other ghost in...
That's why I thought it was going to be like that. I thought this movie was going to be Ghostbusters, like monsters, or Ghosts Unleashed, whatever. And then it wasn't.
Frozen Unleashed.
But...
Empire
Unleashed. That sounds like a Star Wars thing.
Possibly.
It might be. Wait, what's Force Unleashed?
Oh, Force Unleashed.
Yeah.
I did play that game.
I've only played the second one, and apparently that one's terrible. But I never played the first one.
I don't know.
I just know that character is considered super overpowered.
Yeah.
But the only 15 minutes of this is dedicated to, and you don't see the ghosts like you said. So it was really frustrating to me because I thought that the third act was going to be like, okay, we're going to do that like fan service-y thing for the third act. I know plenty of movies that do this now. Rogue One, No Way Home, but I feel like No Way Home does the thing that I was scared it was going to do, which is what this movie does, is it brings back people that I'm like, okay, they're there. That's awesome. They're not doing anything.
Yeah.
Like, that was my concern with No Way Home, but then they actually managed to have those two characters, go through something in that movie too.
Yes. They had small arcs. They didn't overpower the main one and still had time to shine. And
it was an aid. I'm so excited for the Spider-Man re-release thing. That trailer that they showed in front of it was awesome. I don't know if it was a bad thing that I got more excited for all the trailers they played in a row before this.
What were the other trailers you were talking about?
The Fall Guy looks awesome.
Fall Guy. Yes.
I love Ryan Gosling so much.
That was getting good reviews, right? The Fall Guy?
Yeah, when it premiered at South by Southwest.
I'm so excited.
It has such a cool idea behind it too. Planet of the Apes looks awesome. I'm a huge fan of that franchise.
I hope it's as good.
I hope it's as good as Rise of the Planet of the Apes because I'm not gonna like get my hopes up for it to be Dawn and War level because there's just
those are other
that's like otherworldly shit. Like those movies are ridiculous. Borderlands looks like Guardians of the Galaxy, but it also I guess it looks fine. It's weird. I feel like
Borderlands is gonna be a lot of fan service.
Yeah,
for sure.
I guess I think there are two of games.
Okay.
I just know that they like lean heavily on comedy, so I guess that's to be expected. Like the games do.
Oh, okay.
But it's funny. I feel like we didn't say a whole lot of positive about this movie, but I didn't even dislike it all that much. I just like didn't think much of it at all.
Yeah, me too. I didn't think. I don't know. It's just. It kind of sucks because I really wish I had that same feeling others had when it comes to this franchise, because then I can see myself enjoying it a lot more if I genuinely loved Ghostbusters, the franchise itself. But it's so hard for me to get attached with it.
I know what would make me love this franchise, and it's the thing that we were talking about. Like, you can have all the ghosts and stuff. There's like a visual language to them. They have this consistent look. They're cartoony, but some of them are scarier looking than others. There's this one that's in this that I really like the design for that they briefly show, and he's like black and white, and it's that one that like pokes its head out of like the yeah. Where I was like, what's that guy's deal? Because they just show him for like
Slenderman or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I liked the design for like well, it's just funny because it didn't really have a design, but like the possessor thing, like just the bright like red ball.
I think we would enjoy this franchise more if they literally left all the old characters behind and just focused on the new ones, and then just the new characters evolving to how these even previous ghosts and new ghosts as well.
But this is why I liked that previous one so much. And then in the middle of this movie, I was kind of like, did I like that movie a lot? I was like, should I go and watch that again? Because now I feel like I should watch that movie again.
I remember enjoying the trailer of Afterlife.
Oh yeah.
I remember liking it just because it looked gritty, and I don't know, it just had some semblance of like innocence before you actually saw the movie.
So the way the nostalgia worked for that is it played like an 80s like E.T. like what we were talking about, or something that Stranger Things did. And I liked that use of nostalgia. With this, bringing the characters back and all of that, that is not the thing that interests me. If you could try and pull me back in with that tone and with these characters and have them really focus on them, then I'd see more. But if you're doing this, then I'm just kind of like, I already know the jokes for this. You can't make that many more. There's already 2 movies with the original cast, and it just doesn't play the same for me. But them also like including because I did read this that they like, if they do more, they do want to do the thing where they like go to other countries and stuff and tell other
That'd be really cool.
stories.
I would love to see that.
Because they said their reason for that is that like they want to play with the idea of ghosts from different countries that are famous there.
Oh,
and that's why I was like, that's actually a cool idea.
They could do series on that. There's like so much. Because I did enjoy when what's his name, Penn Oswalt. When he was talking about folklore. And just that idea alone, you can do so much, and because there's so much of it, and you can do a lot of people like fan favorites of whatever it may be. So, but it was barely talked about.
Yeah, and I mean, he has one scene.
Yeah,
and I feel like they added that because he's a fan of the franchise. I bet.
Oh, possibly.
I would probably have to look into that. Another thing that
silence. Sorry. I took over.
Paul doing Atreides.
Paul doing Atreides.
Paul doing what?
Atreides.
Your mom.
My mom.
Here's one other thing that bothered me.
Is there an after credit scene?
There was, yeah.
Oh, what was it? I didn't see it. I wanted to leave right away. I'm not gonna lie.
You're probably gonna. I'm gonna guess your reaction right now.
Okay, what is it?
You're gonna go, oh.
Oh damn.
So. You know how the rip-off minions are like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man?
Yes.
I like their like weird suicidal tendencies in this movie. But
that was funny to me.
Yeah. I like just the occasional idea that they like really want to murder each other. But
why'd you give me that look when you said that?
Because I'm thinking about it. We're just like them.
What?
Yeah.
No, we're not. Let's just clarify we're not.
So they steal this guy's like 18-wheeler truck and then like drive off, and that's kind of it.
Oh.
See? I had to pee so bad, dude. And then
this is what I waited for.
No, I drank like, because I always do this. I don't know why I do this. I drink like a gallon of water before I got there.
Dude, I avoid drinking water at least an hour or two before I go to the movies. Yeah. Just because of that reason.
No, but I mean, this, I was like, it's short enough that if I have to pee, I'll be fine. Maybe it's because of how long it felt that I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. But I don't get up. Even if, like, no matter how however invested I am, I'm like, I'm not getting up. I can't.
I hate that feeling. I'd stay there. I would not go unless I see the credits rolling. I'm like, all right, I'm going to go. Even if I know there's an after credit scene, I'd rather just go.
Yeah.
During the credits and during the movie.
No, just wait. I mean... what would have killed me is like if I had to pee during like Killers of the Flower Moon. Oh, that would have been impossible.
I remember one movie. There was a movie that I went to see with you that I had to go to the bathroom so bad, but of course I was waiting the entire time until in the moment the movie ended. I got up and left.
We see a lot of movies together, but I do remember you took off and you were like, I had to pee. I had to see so bad. But I remember you were like, but it was so good. I wonder what it was.
Yeah, I don't remember.
But the other thing that bothered me was I feel like they only used 2 locations in this movie. I feel like the firehouse, which I don't like. Why? Why was that so prominently featured? They're in New York. I thought there was a reason why they changed the location from where they were in that previous one to coming to this one. So that, and then the lab.
The lab and the library. I think that was just more like a set. like just one scene type of thing.
I just found it distracting because I was like, I don't have this nostalgia for this like firehouse thing. I said I'd get the Lego set because it's super cool. I'll show it to you
Yeah,
after
later.
this. Yeah. But other than that, I mean, I guess what were your overall thoughts on this movie?
Like my rating?
Like your rating and just any like your overall summed up.
I don't know. I think it's one of those ones where I wished I had more of a connection towards these movies.
Yeah.
How others do. But I genuinely enjoyed the 1984. I think it's 1984.
84, I believe. Yeah.
That Ghostbusters movie more than any of the other ones, just because of course it was the first one, but it introduced a lot of fun ideas, and I do enjoy the old characters a lot. But this movie now, it's definitely losing its steam, at least for me.
Yeah.
If they did do a sequel, because I did not expect them to do a sequel
To that one.
Yes, because I really liked how they ended the first one.
Afterlife. Yeah.
Afterlife. But with this one, if they did, I really hope they change locations and they just keep with the new characters and don't bring back the old and let them solve the problems, the new ones, instead of just keep relying on nostalgia.
Yeah.
So I give it a 3 out of 5, to be honest. So
I think I was honestly, while we were talking about it, I was like, this is a 2.5 for me. But the reason why it's being carried to a 3 is because I don't feel like there's a lack of passion for this from the filmmakers. That's what usually irritates me the most. Whoever made this and wrote this, which was not Ivan Reitman, but his son. And
I think
then,
it was both. I think Ivan Reitman wrote this and then his son.
well, Ivan passed away, so I don't think.
Really?
Yeah, that's why it says for Ivan.
Jason.
Yeah,
It's Jason.
the reason
Reitman.
why it says written by Ivan Reitman is because they were talking about the 1984 one in the credits.
Oh, okay.
It was kind of weird. It was like
Yeah.
worded weirdly. But Jason Reitman and then that director, I do not remember the name of off the top of my head. But I felt the passion for this there. I just feel like they had the passion for the part of Ghostbusters that I do not give a fuck about.
Yeah.
And
Ghostbusters be bustin'.
that's what I care about, right? Do you remember how many jokes would they have made if they were going to do that one with like Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill and Joseph Gordon-Levitt? Or like, do you remember that, like that rumor of that way back when?
Oh, that they were gonna be in it?
Yeah.
That sounds so amazing.
That was back when they were like at their peak of, yeah.
I feel Joseph Gordon-Levitt is in a lot of movies ever since that one movie he made.
People talk about that. It's a good movie too.
It's a great movie.
You mean where he picks Julianne Moore over Scarlett Johansson? I remember being like, this movie's perfect up until that, and I was like, you.
And now he doesn't.
Porn addict.
Now he doesn't star in any movies or make anything. I mean, he does, but he's not as famous.
He should be though. He has like a real star like charisma to him, and I think he's supposed to be in a musical soon.
I love musicals.
I hope, because he's perfect for that.
I love musicals.
I do too.
I've been listening to this song, a remix of "I'm Just Ken," but it's like a disco version.
Oh, I saw your Airbuds.
Dude, it's so good.
That's from the Christmas thing that he released, I think.
It's like the EP.
Right.
Yeah. I also listened to the Christmas one. It's pretty good.
Overall, I didn't dislike this. I was not like annoyed that I saw it. It's just, I mean, I couldn't even recommend it either. Like, if somebody asked me, oh, what did you think of the new Ghostbusters? I'd just be like, I mean...
It's okay. It's all right.
It's fine.
It's not a movie I would say, go watch in theaters right away.
Yeah. I mean, I thought about this. You know how people talk about TNT movies? Mm-hmm. It's a perfect TNT movie.
FX movie?
Yeah, FX.
Yeah.
Do they still do they have the movies thing?
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You used to say that all the time.
Okay, well, why are you calling me out like that? Damn, bro.
Remember, you used to go, FX has the movies. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they used to have the behind the scenes thing. I grew up like, yeah, that was the first time I didn't see Superbad that way, I don't think. But I remember one of the times I saw Superbad, they cut it so much that they made it a bad movie. Because like all the jokes were like
they just followed the title.
Yeah.
Superbad.
I saw.
You like that?
Well, no, I'm laughing because I saw a tweet.
That?
I saw a tweet recently that was like, I still don't understand why it was called Superbad, and they were explaining that it was like a I believe, 70s term for saying, oh, this person's super bad. It means that they're really cool. And they're like, that's because they're losers in that movie.
That's confusing as hell. What? I would have never guessed that.
That's why they have that like themed kind of disco like dance opening that they do.
Oh yeah, I really like that.
Yeah.
I love that actually. I'm talking about.
I would also give this a 3 out of 5, a very light 3 out of 5.
Oh, we had the same score. That's awesome.
Yeah, we do that a lot though.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why I thought it was funny when I called you and I was like, this fucking movie, and then you were like,
I was like, damn.
it's just like, why were there 110 main characters in this?
Oh man. Ugh.
I can attest if they do
Maybe
the
it's
same
for toys.
if they do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Toys of what?
The characters.
They had like 4 ghosts in this.
No, I'm talking about the human characters.
What they make, I have not seen any of the Ghostbusters toys. I
Me
mean,
too.
I get one of those. The proton pack thing is cool, like the thing that they carry.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, yeah, it was okay.
Yeah.
So we have our next movie we're moving on to. This is A24's Love Lies Bleeding.
Yeah, let's go.
Which I'm super excited to talk about.
Me too.
I'm trying to currently remember it off the top of my head because we did see it like a week ago.
Yeah, it was a week ago.
So, what did you think of Love Lies Bleeding, Erwin?
I loved it. Yeah.
I did too.
Yeah, okay, awesome.
So, one of our other interests and passions that we might get a little bit into right now is we're not like bodybuilders, I would never say that, but we're really, really into health and the gym and everything involving that.
Yes.
And I think that there needs to be so many more bodybuilder movies. And I did not anticipate that this would be about the gym as much as it is.
Yeah, I heard it was like it was one of the aspects of the movie, but I didn't think it was gonna be. It was honestly like 80% of the movie, if that, or like more. But I love how they portrayed the gym aspect, and of course like her passion and her obsession,
And like a literal like obsession with this.
Yes, and you can see I guess the good and the bad of how obsessed she became over that.
Yeah.
Because it basically, I think she said, I don't know if she said it in the movie, but it was, I felt like it was implied that changed her life and it became her life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's implications of her character that like through phone calls that she makes home that we're supposed to try and piece together. And I really liked the kind of languid pace of this that sort of like lulls you into it, because I thought the romance in this was amazing. I thought that the chemistry with Kristen Stewart, and I wish I remember this actress's name, Katie O'Brien.
Katie O'Brien.
And
Either Katie or Kathy O'Brien.
I think it's Katie O'Brien.
No, you're wrong.
I think I'm right.
Okay, then why would you...
I'm not 100%. But focusing on that before really getting into what the movie actually is, I thought worked wonders for it, because you get so invested in these characters with each other. I loved the seedy, dirty locations. I loved the way this movie looked. There were
so many good shots.
Yeah.
Just of every location, and I was surprised by it.
Oh yeah, it was shot in New Mexico, right? I think it was in New Mexico and El Paso, because I remember like, oh, my family's from there, and that's why like Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul are also shot there. They're able to get that kind of look. And had you seen the trailers for this?
No, I didn't see the trailers.
I hadn't either, so I did not know what this movie was going to be. And I know that that's like the best way to experience stuff, because you get surprised. But the crime elements of this are also really, really well done. One of my favorite filmmaker duos, I guess, are the Coen brothers. And this reminded me so much of their work.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I can see that.
It's really dark, but it also has these moments of humor that are really funny.
Yes.
And there was this actress that's in it. that a lot of the acting in this is done through face work, and I thought was fantastic. It's the one that like is the obsessed with Kristen Stewart.
Oh, the girlfriend, not girlfriend.
Yeah,
One. Yeah.
there's just a look in her eyes that I thought was amazing, and Kristen Stewart gets to do her thing that she does really well. I know that Twilight was a whole thing, but I feel like she's so far past that now.
I think Twilight, the movies are my, what's it called?
Guilty pleasure.
Guilty pleasure movies.
I enjoy them.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
You about to hug me?
No.
Oh, okay. Just have to clarify.
I've read the books for that, so I can.
You read all of them?
Uh-huh.
Oh, what did you think?
The movies captured the spirit of the book, if that means anything. They're written about the same.
Damn.
It's some. Whenever people ask you like what you think of Twilight, what do you say?
I know what they are.
Yeah. I know what you are.
I know what you are. It's like you understand why some people wouldn't like those movies or wouldn't enjoy them. But I remember the first time watching like all of them, and I'm like, they're all right.
Yeah.
But after seeing those movies again and again and again, you start to enjoy them, especially in moments where they come off comedic now.
Oh yeah.
Or it's like they're not trying to be comedic, like trying to be funny, but it just comes off being funny.
Did you like Stockholm Syndrome yourself with the Twilight movies?
Possibly.
You're like, I've seen them enough times that I love them now.
Yeah, basically.
I kind of answer the same way with those. Is that like, I think that I saw all of them in theaters.
Yeah.
I think they're not good.
I think I saw the last 2 or 3. At least I know for a fact I saw Breaking Dawn Part 1 and 2. And I think I saw the one before it. Was it Eclipse?
Eclipse, yeah.
Yeah.
What did I... Yeah, I saw all of them in theaters, and then I liked them then, but then also like acknowledged that they're not good.
I think whenever Breaking Dawn Part 2 came out, and when at the very end, when the whole action sequences, oh my gosh, I just can't. I'll never forget. Like, you never forget theater experiences.
Yeah,
it was another theater experience of everyone going, oh, what the heck, after that twist happened.
I remember when the TV spot for that had come out. It said a twist you won't see coming, and then
you saw it coming.
No, not that. No. Because that's like stuff that was added. Because I think that they were like, hey, if we don't add anything of interest, this movie has nothing going for it.
Yeah.
So they had to put that in that movie. But I think Kristen Stewart's like acknowledges that is really far past that now. And
even Robert Pattinson too.
And now he's Batman. And I just wish that like whenever people talk about her, that they would acknowledge the stuff that she's in now.
Yeah, I try to tell people the same thing too. I'm like, Kristen Stewart's a great actress.
Yeah.
But she still has that reputation from Twilight, and it still tracks with her. I just don't think she's in a lot of bigger movies that showcase her acting roles now, or even just in the past couple of years, that a lot of people know her from.
I think what separates her from why people take Robert Pattinson seriously is because he does have Batman now.
Yes.
But do you remember what people kept saying before he was like when he was cast as Batman and didn't come out? It was like the same thing.
Same thing, yeah.
But her choices are she stays with just weird things. She did the Daniel Radcliffe thing where he's like not in anything big.
Oh, yes.
And consistently makes choices for movies like this that are smaller. She's in like Personal Shopper, Spencer, and then Love Lies Bleeding. What did you think of like the chemistry with her and...
I thought it was... Oh, the chemistry between both... It felt two main characters.
Yeah.
Right? Sometimes it felt like Kristen Stewart was secondary to Katie O'Brien as well, depending on the scenes. Which I didn't realize, like, after the movie ended, where they balance so well with those two characters throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
And it just felt so, like it felt so smooth throughout the whole movie. Just seeing their chemistry and how their story goes from point A to point B.
There was something that I guess we were just talking about character arcs. This feels like genuinely that they had somewhere where they started and somewhere that they ended. And
all the aspects of it being weird too.
Oh yeah.
Of all those, I guess, metaphors.
Yeah.
But visually, I really enjoyed.
We did see this with a crowd, I remember, and there was the same thing. There were genuine moments where people were like shocked at stuff that had happened, because there are some moments that are very surprising in it.
Yeah, a lot of shock value.
Yeah, and I do love the moments. It does kind of occasionally veer into, there are horror-esque elements in it, and it doesn't fully ever go there directly, but there are, of course, moments where if you were to show this to a mainstream audience, like just anyone that like doesn't, see stuff like Beau is Afraid,
yes,
they would still like it. I think it's accessible, but there are moments where you're like, that's weird.
Yeah, I think if you don't really understand what's going on, I wish it's the spoiler free on this one.
Yeah, on this movie, yeah.
Okay, but there were definitely scenes with Katie O'Brien that they showcased a lot when it came to her obsession with the gym and like the usage of it.
Yeah.
And when when those scenes were shown, I can see with mainstream audiences not either understanding, confused, because I remember even my first like watching it happen was like, that's confusing.
Yeah.
But then once you understand what's going on, like what it's trying to portray, you're like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Someone else I want to say is great in this and just like such a douchebag is Dave Franco.
Oh yeah,
I think he's great in this and really captures that energy of that specific type of person, and has like one of the worst haircuts I've like ever seen.
I love the dad that was played.
Oh yeah,
I don't remember his name. I'm blanking his name.
Ed Harris, I think.
Oh yeah, Ed Harris.
Yeah,
he did a great job as well.
They capture this very authentic kind of American villain, like something that would exist in. I'm not sure. This movie's like kind of veering into magical realism. There are elements of it that are like not realistic, but it has this sort of, people are comparing this to like No Country for Old Men, and I see where that comes from, because the violence is super blunt and direct, and it's not like
gruesome.
Yeah. And like it does come kind of out of nowhere, but there are moments with that are also funny, and they play kind of for laughs, even if it's like super tense.
Yes, I think with those like just the way they balance it with the Coen Brothers movies. Yeah, when those moments of humor happen, you just connect more with the main characters, which then when those scenes happen where everything's fast paced, you feel anxious. Yeah, because once I forget which scene it was. The scene with Katie O'Brien where I guess something happens, right? And you just start feeling anxious.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
As well, like with her.
Yeah.
And you're just experiencing with her, and like oh man, I wish we could talk about it, but like.
No, I know. I thought it was funny because we were talking about like the stuff we know about the gym, and I was just like, if she, and you too, you're like, if she's hitchhiking everywhere. Yeah. How is she that big?
Yeah. How is she that big? How does she eat?
Yeah. And then I did like the detail of, that's how you know that, because she was a former bodybuilder. The whole thing about like separating the yolks and the eggs. Like, okay, so they do pay full attention to detail on that as well. So you know that there's like a lot of care put into this specifically. And I love the look of old school gyms also.
Oh, me too. I love it so much.
Also got a real urge to go way more than once a day, because it's like she's going 5 times a day.
I think after we saw that movie, you and I both went to the gym that same day again.
It was how people describe movies as pre-workout sometimes. That's how I felt. Yeah. Is there anything else you want to add, or?
I would love to watch this movie again, because I gave this movie 4.5 stars. Yeah. And I think it's just because I don't know if it was a movie like I genuinely found it to be not perfect, but more so like I just genuinely love. Yeah. Because I can't think of a something where it lacked anything in.
So I wasn't like anticipating what I was gonna think of this. I just had heard amazing things about it,
Yes.
and I actually didn't know much other than I read a headline that said it was really dark and violent.
Yes.
That's all I knew about it.
Mm-hmm.
So going into it, I was like, okay, we'll see what I think, and then I loved it a lot. I wasn't anticipating to love it the amount that I did. Like I didn't think it would be like, top 10 of the year or anything.
Oh yeah.
But if not a whole lot like comes out in terms of competition, I know it'll at least be in like top 15, top 20 by the end of the year.
I just hope a lot of people talk about this movie.
Yeah.
That's my thing.
I think that it'll find an audience, I hope, because I do also think that A24's distribution has an issue sometimes. Like we were complaining on an episode about the Zone of Interest and how that was nowhere, and I'm pretty sure that was A24.
Oh, okay. I still haven't seen it. I want to though.
I still haven't gotten to see it either, and I've heard amazing things about it. But I think if I were to like try and pinpoint any kind of flaw, the ending is a bit, it makes sense, and I didn't dislike it, but I want to see it again with the prepping in mind of what it is, because it does kind of take a specific turn, and it is metaphorical, and that's something that I think veers more into the magical realism we were talking about, and I just want to see if it does play as well as it would with me knowing that on a second viewing. But you said your rating was
4.5.
And
5.
we also have the same score on this. 4.5.
Let's go.
Out of 5 stars. That movie's incredible. If you were to like go to the theater right now and be like, hey, I have 2 things to see. I can either see Ghostbusters or this. I would say if you haven't seen Dune 2, watch that. But also this, if you have seen that.
I am Paul Muad'Dib.
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 Dude, I need to see Dune 2 again. So when I was walking into Ghostbusters, I heard the music, like the chanting, because
I would have walked in the door too. I'm like,
no, I could tell which scene it was too. I think it was that scene where he's like giving the speech.
Scene?
Yeah.
I need to see that movie again.
I was kind of like, should I?
Yeah. It just sucks knowing that it's that long.
Yeah.
And so you just have to find the time for it.
Can't find the time, but keep reviewing.
Yeah.
Stuff like Ghostbusters.
That is true. That's 2 hours. That's 2 hours I could put into Dune 2.
Dude.
Dude.
I walked in and the person was like, what are you saying? And I was like, Ghostbusters, actually. I kept
just disappointed.
I don't know why I responded that way. Like, everyone was there for that.
Oh, man.
But what's next? Are you excited for Godzilla?
We're doing that one next week?
Yeah.
Let's go. Yes.
Dude, I am so excited for Godzilla X Kong. Not Frozen Empire, the new Empire.
I hope there's a bunch of scenes with like King Kong and Godzilla like fist bumping.
Oh yeah, because they're buds.
Yeah.
I've seen like one trailer for it.
No, I think I've seen 2. Or that are like TV spots.
So that's a franchise. We have an actual, like, we didn't grow up with it. We weren't born in the 1950s, but
no.
We love it.
Yeah.
And I cannot wait to talk about the Monsterverse, and we are going to review Godzilla -1 as well in that.
Yes.
I'm going to try and watch that again somehow. See if I can find a way to do that before.
They're releasing a 4K of it, right?
I believe so. I actually just saw a box set of it, and I'll show it to you after this. It's
awesome. I definitely want to buy that and like soon.
So you can expect multiple different reviews on the oncoming weeks of totally like just stuff that we're very excited for, starting with that. So thank you guys so much for listening. If you could genuinely share us out and review us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you can find us. It genuinely helps boost our viewership so much, and we've noticed that we have so many new listeners.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for listening to us. People call it yapping now. For
yapping?
Yeah. They say that like they're a certified yapper or someone.
Yo, that's good.
So thank you guys so much for
Hey, you
listening.
guys should make edits
Of what?
of our voices somehow. I don't know what.
They haven't like even seen what we look like.
Well, that's why I said our voices.
Oh, just that.
Yeah, I mean, eventually I would like for us to.
We'll introduce video eventually.
Eventually, yeah.
In a few months, I believe. But again, thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next week.